Hi everyone, Reverend Melissa Kennedy here, and welcome to your weekly reading. And so, as I said last week, I would be back every Sunday with a reading for the upcoming week, okay? So this is for the 11th through the 18th in this energy. And so as I was sensing in, Spirit was showing me that the beginning of this week is going to feel kind of like we started off on the left foot, okay? So it may feel a little bit awkward. It may feel a little bit shaky. Um, yeah, so that's what they're sharing with me. But the awkwardness, the shakiness, the doubt, or the self-doubt that we might have will lift as we reach the middle of the week is what they're sharing with me, okay? So this will be energy that is also calling us to make decisions or choices, right? But this is the energy where we don't move so much through our heart space. We use logic and reason. So when we do that, we don't get drawn into the emotions of whatever it is that's going on around us, okay? Because emotions will always throw us off course if we allow them to. So if we just stay grounded, because the root chakra is the chakra of this week. So stay grounded, practice being grounded however you do that, and set your sphere of protection around you as you go about your week. And this is also calling for leadership this week, okay? And being in your integrity and always being honest no matter what, even if it might ruffle some feathers, okay? We have to speak our truth, even if we know it's not what someone might want to hear, even though we might know intuitively it's not what someone wants to do. If we're being called to bring that kind of energy in to lead, we have to know that we are able to stand firmly in our deliverance of whatever it is we're trying to bring forth or forward, okay, into creation. So this is speaking your truth um, with personal power and not worrying so much about the emotions around it or how other people might perceive it. So we got one affirmation, which is I am triumphant. So I am triumphant will be um, our I am affirmation. You might want to use that this week in all endeavors, okay, in my life. So our guides are reminding us that what we think and imagine ultimately becomes our reality. So how do we have proof of this? So this pen was once in someone's mind, right? And they created it, and so was this chakra stone, and anything else that we might have, like my phone was once, and your phone was once a thought or a vision in someone's mind, and it became reality. So we're always creating, we're always in creation, whether we realize it or not, okay? So, um, today also is 11/11, and I'm just going to um, share the screen with you, um, and a little bit of what this is. Um, so it's saying that, let me read this for today. It's a very powerful day, okay? So 11/11/26, the most commonly refers to November 11th, 26, um, and it is all about like powerful manifestation, okay? And in the Bible, they have some examples, 11/11/26. So this is God providing manna and spirit empowering elders. Okay. So I feel like so much in 2026 is going to be working with our angels, guides, higher power. Okay. And in numerology, 11/11 is often interpreted as a sign of or for spiritual awakening, connection, or a message to pay attention, sometimes pointing to themes of revival, like in John 11 in the Bible. So a lot of that was like bringing in messages that also have to do with this day. And you might want to just maybe pick up the Bible and do some reading yourself, or maybe Google today 11/11/26, and I will just share this. January 11th, 2026 is spiritually significant as it marks a major numerological portal. I can't even talk today. Numerological portal. It aligns with key astrological shifts in 2026, which is a universal year of the number one. Remember, we left the number nine in 2025 and we entered into number one. This is the year, a new beginning. Okay. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 10, and 1 plus 0 equals 1. The specific date creates a rare 111 energy frequency that amplifies themes of manifestation and intuition. Numerological significance, the 111 portal, the repeating one symbolized clairvoyant lightning, acting as a spiritual messenger that bridges the material and the immaterial worlds. It is considered a moment of high receptivity for setting intentions that may impact the next 9-year cycle. So this is a super important day. So you might want to envision where you see yourself a year from now, 2 years from now, et cetera, maybe 9 years from now, okay? Like a long-term goal, okay? And really focus on that as you move through the rest of this day and also 2026. It's very important that we are keeping our thoughts in our channel open and not clogged. And a way that we do this is we don't allow the outer stories to influence our inner house, okay? That's a huge thing with self mastery to learn how to do that. It's not easy, but the more you practice it, the more you are aware of your thoughts and aware that they do not define you, okay? You are not your thoughts, they're just passing through you like the wind. So you can quickly catch the thoughts, you can experience them and feel them, but then you release them and replace them with something that's much higher frequency, much higher vibrational energy or thought. Okay. So the full date, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, reduces to the number 4 in numerology. And 4 represents stability, discipline, and building a secure foundation for your future. So there it is in a nutshell, 2026, the year of the horse or the fire horse, okay? And we are burning away the lower frequencies, the lower energies. And it's so important to be in that mindset. And this week, I feel like at work and even at home, we're going to be called to be in our logical mind because the emotions of what's going on out in the world or maybe in our personal lives, if we're not practicing mindfulness, we will get taken off of our course, okay? And we will maybe miss some opportunities or you know, we might veer off in the wrong direction and make the wrong choice if we're not really sensing in, okay? So make sure you meditate and find a quiet place tonight, if wherever you are, or in the morning every day this week, and set aside every day a little bit of time for meditation or just introspection, okay? Going in and doing that inner work, the shadows that you feel rising to the surface and facing them as they come up, okay? As they bubble up, as you experience them, that way you can release them and not carry them with you because that is how toxicity enters into our lives, okay? And we don't want those negative thoughts and those negative feelings influencing us at all. We really do need to practice our self mastery. And it's not easy. I get it. We all make mistakes. We all fall again and again. I'm always saying, God, angels, universe, forgive me. I've messed up again. I did the same thing. But when I don't, I acknowledge that too. I'm like, wow, I really had a handle on that this time. And it didn't trigger me. It could have, but I didn't let those people, places, or circumstances have access to my emotions, okay? Super important. And we really do only have control over our reactions to anything at any given moment, right? That's what either makes us or breaks us, our reaction in any given moment. So I'm looking at this card. Baba G came in, okay, for our card for this week. And as I was looking down at him, like a lot of times spirit will change the appearance or even words on cards for me when I read for people. And I had a really funny thing happen one time during a live, okay? And I kept looking for the card in the book, okay? And I couldn't find it. I was like thinking, have I lost my mind? And I realized after I finished the live, because I could not find the card in the deck. And so I just ended up just reading the energy and the message as I channeled it through, right? But Spirit changed the words on the card. And when I looked at this, Babaji is just smiling at me, okay? So, Babaji, to me, in India, he holds the Christ light, okay? And so people in India have a close connection to Babaji, right? And he brings in that light. So, um, very, very healing, very alchemizing. So, this is interconnectedness as we are all one, right? But we are all living our individual experience here. And again, this is reiterating what I was saying. This is the inner workings, okay? This is what's going on the inside, your inner house. Um, yeah, the world, we're still in this world, we're experiencing it, but it's super important that we keep our channel open, our divine channel open to messages and receiving from higher power, from higher self, source energy, whatever name works for you, and that you're always allowing that highest light to bring the messages in, to bring that clearing down, to bring that grounding energy within your physical body. My phone's going off. I thought I had my sound turned off. You know what thought did for you? Sometimes not much, but so what this card, the message is, it's like you are going through a powerful series of awakenings. Yes, also awakenings. So the 11:11 and the portal today is about awakening, waking up to your true self, your divine self. Okay, and that's what spiritual awakening really is. That we understand that it's more than what we were taught, and we're going deep. Okay, we're peeling away the layers of the onion, right? And under each layer emerges a new version of ourselves, more healed, more connected, and we're always to be on that path. And so spiritual awakening never stops, it never ends. And that's a good thing, right? So just remember that, like, people always compare themselves to others spiritually, like there's some kind of a level that we're all supposed to be at the same time, or we're supposed to achieve, and anything is further from the truth. That is so wrong. Like, we never have the same spiritual gifts, and that's what's so beautiful about it, okay? And so this is awakenings at this time in beginning to understand the interconnectedness of all things. You will even begin to understand the healing and the lessons that have taken place during the darkest hours of your life. Absolutely. And for me, like every challenge that I've ever been through, every difficult time, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whatever it is that's going on in my life that when I'm going through it, I'm thinking, could it be any worse? Well, don't even ask that, because the question of that could always be yes, right? So we'll cancel, clear, delete that thought. We don't want to draw that energy to ourselves, but it's like it feels like the darkest day or the darkest hour, but after that, it's like a storm on the outside, like a storm comes in out of nowhere and everything turns black and all hell breaks loose, right? The wind starts, the thunder, the lightning, the torrential rain, we're flooded, all of this, okay? So this can happen in our personal lives to us in this physical reality, those storms. And always after the storms, after all of the trauma, after all of the difficulties, the sun always comes out. And when you get some distance between you and that experience that you thought was going to level you or even destroy you and just leave you for dead back there, you know, down for the count, you're out, right? You're thinking, I am done. But here you are, you made it. And so that's what we need to focus on, that the silver lining or the rainbow after the storm, right? We're always growing. And without the storms, you can never have the growth that you came here to experience. And that's why we all gathered here as a collective right now. So don't forget that even though we are doing our individual journey, that always give someone a hand, okay? Always give someone a kind word or a little bit of acknowledgement that they exist, that they're important, that they actually mean something in your life, okay? Um, and so when we understand this and we start working with our divine practice, listening and learning, the universe is trying to help us to understand all of the pieces of the puzzle so that we can understand the real reason why we are here. So, with each experience, it just grounds us more into this physical reality. You know, we're born in beautiful, innocent little children, and then we start having all these experiences, and just the experience of birth is traumatic, though consciously, most people do not remember their birth experience. Subconsciously, your body does remember. So that program is in running in the background all the time, even if we are not aware of it, okay? So given all that you have been through, you will never be able to see the world the same again. And this is for the highest good. You are realizing that everyone and everything is interconnected and one, and that every decision and action you take will lead you to the next step. As you continue along this path, you will come to see that through your spiritual practice, you become the keeper and the creator of your own destiny. Welcome to the real you. And one of my favorite things to say is you are the captain of your own ship, okay? There's no blaming anyone for veering off in the wrong direction or going too far off over the horizon, okay, where nobody can see where you're headed. If that's what you feel you need to do, remember when you make those decisions, you are the captain of your own ship, okay? It's no one's fault. That's your journey. So remember that. That's something that we learn with releasing ego, okay? That we realize that the decisions that we made, yes, other people may have been involved, other people may have shared an opinion, but ultimately we have made the decision. So we have to go with that and acknowledge that we did and never look back because you're not going back that way again. You're only headed forward, okay? Just full speed ahead. And it's nobody's fault, not even your own. Even if you think that you've made a wrong decision in your life, there is no such thing as a wrong decision. The only wrong decision is to not make one at all, and that is being stuck. And nobody wants to be stuck in life, okay? You want to just go with the flow, keep moving forward, keep checking in with your heart, and disconnect if you are not supposed to be in your heart space and get into the logical mind. And if you are an empathic person, if you are clairsentient, or maybe you embody all of the clairs like me, I call it, I have the cornucopia of clairs. I have them all. Okay. And so, and you might as well. So if you do, you understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to disconnect from all that you feel, all that you sense, all that you experience, and know that it's okay to step out of those feelings and emotions and all of those extrasensory perceptions that you have and be a regular human and operate from just logical thinking, okay? And it's really something that gives you freedom. It can really free your mind, okay? Just really free your mind and everything else will follow, okay? So that is the message for this week. I really feel like you could also call on Baba G to be with you and also bring in that Christ light always, that healing energy. I work with that so much with my readings and to help people to heal and to work with it themselves. So I'm also a spiritual teacher. And if you've been watching my little podcasts on this channel, you know that I'm always trying to help people to be their own divine master, like the master of your life, okay? Like your ascended being, your ascended self, okay? Because we're supposed to be on that path. And so that when we leave this incarnation, we've learned our lessons, we've stated them out to the universe, and we're saying, I've learned my lessons, I no longer need these lessons, and I am moving full speed ahead, and I am going to experience things on a whole other level, okay? Because I acknowledge I have grown and I have learned, and you should too. So I am triumphant in all of my endeavors. So you might want to repeat that I am affirmation this week to yourself. And remember, what you think or imagine ultimately becomes your reality. It truly does. Um, Everything, like right down to something so simple as you don't know what you're going to eat for dinner, and then all of a sudden this idea comes to you and you're creating this meal in your mind, okay? And you've already gone through the steps, you know what you need to make it. You're going through the checklist in your mind. I'll have that on hand. I don't need to go to the store for anything. Good to go. And you start creating. Anything that we manifest and bring into our life starts in the mind, in that third eye center, projecting that energy out and keeping a clear, unhindered focus, okay? Kind of like tunnel vision as to where you see yourself. Remember, this is another 9-year cycle, okay? We've just entered into this year. Don't waste this opportunity to bring in all of this new energy and co-create with the universe, free flow it. I mean, things are going to be happening so fast this year, both out in the world we're going to witness, but also in our own lives, that it's going to be kind of like instant karma, instant manifestation. So you want to make sure that you're not in karma, that you're walking the path of dharma, that you're doing no one any harm, no ill intentions anywhere. So keep your inner house clear and clean and pure with that divine light, that divine energy, and all will be well. So I want to thank you for listening to this little sense in and all these little channeled in message that come in for the week ahead. And it's really just about you and your journey and where you see yourself. And maybe journal, after you meditate and you bring in that energy, all of that highest light, and just all of the messages that can just come through you as a divine channel. Keep a journal. You'll see your progress. You will see your growth. Maybe check in after each week this year, do something different. Be accountable to yourself. Maybe write some things on your calendar that you are going to do no matter what. Okay? And one of the things I promised myself was I was going to ride my four-wheeler every day, as long as the weather was good. As long as the sun was out and it wasn't raining, I didn't care how hot it was, how cold it was. And I'm doing really well so far this year to be able to be outside, be in nature, ride my four-wheeler. It's kind of like meditation. And since I'm not riding my horses at this time, it is that forward moving motion, being outside and just being that wonderful Mother Earth, Lady Gaia energy. So be true to yourself, okay? So until next week, I am wishing you light, love, peace, and blessings of all kinds. Bye bye now.